Hello, my babies, and welcome back once again to the Galfond Challenge on Run It Once Poker. I am Uncle Daddy Joe Stapleton. Joining me today is PLO expert and content creator for Run It Once, Andreas Frerly. I could definitely use that, I think. Phil's raising this 2/3 pot size bet on the turn from Venividi. Phil's made it 23,000 on the turn.
So we'd expect some reps and some straights. And
all right,
some
my
sets.
babies.
Sets with a gutter, sets, just sets.
The greens are getting greenier. Venividi jokes who he's supposed to be quite amusing, even though I shouldn't.
Which one you like the most?
I like a lot of these. Mike Matiso, Jamie Gold, Will Kassouf, Jennifer Tilley, Viffer.
Wiffer will be fun, yeah.
These are all hilarious guesses. Farah Galfond. I mean, how dope would that be?
That would be fun.
Raise, a big raise from Venividi on the turn and on the river.
But equally challenging to take it seriously then, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost playing against your own money.
Phil folds on both tables.
And drops the emote for folding on the right.
The last couple of hands are going to really eat into those green numbers. Not awaiting that update. Remember, those real-time stats are real-time up to a minute. Takes about a minute for them to update. I mean, I remember when Isildur was a mystery and there was all this speculation as to who it was going to be, and then it ended up just being, it turns out the guy we'd never heard of was a guy we'd never heard of, and that's usually how it works. It doesn't, it's never like it's Olivier Busquet. It's just a new dude that not many people know about yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's just many players still staying anonymous in today's online world, and for various reasons. I mean, just often also taxation, or also not to discourage people from playing you. I guess the more status and fame you have could be leading to people being discouraged to play you. Phil has
a gigantic pot with Broadway.
And even had the blockers to his opponent's flush draw there. That was huge. I mean, in general, we got a 4-bet on the left by Venividi. And they're a little bit deeper. They're almost 150 big blinds deep at this point. Do we see the 5-bet coming? No. It's not too bad for the 3-bet caller, I guess. But yeah, we've seen Venividi 4-bet quite a few non-aces hands, and those will then also connect with these type of boards, but the aces won't unless they have a gut shot.
Venividi putting Phil all in on the flop on table number 1. Phil's got an overpair and a gut shot. And Venividi
it's not
aces
looking
are
good.
hold.
Not looking good for Phil here.
I think if Phil were to continue on this way in this challenge and end up losing the challenge by a significant margin, I think it presents a great opportunity for him to then offer the run it once course to correct the Galfond challenge and then do the challenge again. He's like, I didn't win, but here's the course you take that will get the old you up to speed with the new wizards here on Run It Once. And now we're going to do it again. Trico says, this isn't funny. Why is he insulting Phil? I'm neither trying to be funny nor insulting.
I mean, it would be a good catch. 21k pot on the right. Venividi checks. Flush getting there on the river. Not flush draw possible with the ace.
Boom. Pot size bet. Leaving Phil just 2,100 behind. Venividi folds. No, not going to happen.
Well, it's today it's 33k, 1.5 binds, so not as much has happened as on the other days. Yesterday was pretty brutal. Oh no, yeah, yesterday, day before yesterday. Oh, it was yesterday, right?
Yesterday was the worst day.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a bad day. Trico says, Joe, message Phil and give him the info. First of all, caps, okay? Caps. Secondly, I would never message him during the match. That is, that's not fair.
Well, we see something that hasn't happened a lot, which is a flop 3-bet by Venividi versus check raise. Certainly a very polarizing play, meaning that it's very, very strong mid hand. There's some really, really great blockers that he's going to use on turn and rivers, or some turn and rivers.
I'm really loving the size of this pot.
Well, he's sizing up that river jam. He's making a third bet here. So Phil calls, pot's going to be 20,000, and that's exactly that amount that Phil has left. So if you deduct 4,200 by Phil, pot's going to be 20.6, and he's going to have 20.5 left.
Look at that. The math checks out.
Does, but is he gonna pull the trigger, because he doesn't necessarily have to?
Trigger's been pulled by Venividi. All in the call. Phil Galfond.
You said call?
No call.
No call.
Venividi calls. Phil shows down. Jacks and deuces. It's a question mark every time.
Yeah, 2 pair. So yeah, we always see, without seeing the whole card, don't know on the river when Phil bets pot and Venividi raises pot. We don't know whether Phil was actually, bluffing with his pot's bet. I guess when he folds quickly, it's more likely that that was the case, or whether he put out a value bet like that two pair in the river and then facing the raise has to fold. So, always two ways, and that's exactly what maybe Venividi goes after a bunch that that Phil has a bluffs some of the times, and then sometimes just can't call the raise. But at the same time, if you're raising the river, you're risking also so much, right? If you're potting it.
We've got a turn raise from Venividi. This is more or less all in for Phil. He's just called. He's got less than less than half pot left behind.
Flush gets there.
Flush and the board pairs.
Phil could still have Jack 7, Jack 5.
It's check to Phil. He does not have to be all in if he doesn't want to be. But he is, in fact, all in for his last 10,000.
And if Phil's bluffing, I think it's going to be like some 7-5 type of hand with a open ender. Maybe. I don't even know if that makes it though to this river playing this way. But yeah, he's improving with
Venividi calls. Full house for Phil. Queen, Jack in his hand.
Yeah, he does have it.
Stacks were relatively big before we took the break, so they reduced them. We're back at an even 20K starting stack for each player. FU Shores, he says a medium bit equals 6 times my annual salary. Yeah, same for me. But apparently I've been told it's just a medium bit considering how long this challenge is and how big the swings are in PLO. I don't make the rules. I don't even enforce them. I just repeat them with varying degrees of accuracy. Accidental Grenade says, do you think there's an advantage to being a later challenger and learning from the challenger's mistakes or successes? Yeah, I think there's something. I think there's something to that. We got a big pot table 1, though. Let's focus on that. Hello, Venividi all in on the turn. King, Queen, Diamonds, 9-4 spades. Phil is going to have to call all in if he wants to remain in this hand. Super high roller. I don't think there's been any chop pots yet today. Phil called with a set of 9s. Unfortunately, those are not good at showdown. All heart board on table 2, which Phil has bet into.
So you still find a bunch of time with your other projects next to doing the 5 days a week here. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, it's impressive that I work with lots of great people who are happy to see me do other things because trying to find some things outside of poker. There's more to life than poker, so I'm lucky I get to go do stand-up comedy. And Venividi raised the flop bet from Phil Galfond here on table number 2 and now bets the turn in position. And it's a third pot bet. And look at this. We've got
interesting raise.
We've got some emotion coming out of Venividi. Loving this raise from Phil. Folds.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically setting up a river jam, but then he might as well just have a hand that wants some more value and then check back the river, maybe. I don't know. Some additional value out of there on the pairing turn card. Then gets raised by Phil, which looked really, really strong. But could as well be like trip queens with the ace of hearts. Small check raise and take it down that way.
YOLO. YOLO.
Now the flop raise here in the 3-bet pot. I feel in position.
All in on that flop. Set of jacks.
40 in the middle, and Phil has a straight. He had 2 pair against a set and gets there.
There it is. There's your green numbers.
Yeah, 6.7K. Awesome. Let's extend on that a little bit. Need some buy-ins. Maybe a little 5 buy-in swing here in the green for the comeback.
Two hours into today's session, which could go as many as 6 hours.
And we would almost get to 1,000 hands, right, with 6 hours, because we got almost 300 after 2.
That's one way to get through this challenge.
So that was check back flop by Venividi, and now raising the turn. Very draw heavy board. Phil making the call. Obviously, both players could have gotten there on this river.
Big pot bet from Venividi. 11,000 into 10,000, or 11 into 11, if you will, for nearly 22,000.
Pretty much expect Phil to call here with something like ace 8-7, something blocking like some of the straights. Like if he has that 8 and the 2 pair, and not blocking diamonds, I guess, or some of the flush cards. I think he's gonna look him up, but Venividi gets his pot uncontested. Yeah, I mean, good point in the chat here with the how mentally tough is it to play this challenge? I mean, imagine you you get totally wrecked on one day, lose a couple of binds, and then you have to come back the next day and just play those hours no matter what. That'll be fun.
All right. How long are they playing for today? Legend has it they'll be playing for another 3 hours or so. Almost 3,000 in the middle on table 2. Potted by Venividi. Phil raises. puts in another 11,000, not another 11,000 top of the raise, but 11,000 total. Decision on Venividi. Who folds? Table 1, he's checking to fill in position. So the nuts here is 5-6.
Yeah, and both could have it. I guess Venividi is a check raising sometimes. But yeah, Phil potting it another time on the river.
Neither player with 5-6.
Sarah's, they changed a few things with Running One's poker. So there's some things that Phil is not allowed to see anymore about the data that Running One's poker has. So he cannot access certain data like, I guess how much certain players are winning at the games. And I think he used to be able to do that before that. So they made a few changes with the business, and now he's able to play on the site. But yeah.
Excellent. If there's anyone that's trusted to do stuff like that, I don't think you can possibly have a better reputation than Phil. I'm not saying that
couldn't think
anyone,
of anyone in poker either.
Yeah. I wrote an article for Bluff Magazine. I used to write the last article every issue for like a couple of years. Me and a partner did it, and then I think I started doing it by myself. And I wrote this thing about how Phil could write home. We got it all in. Sorry, guys.
Huge check raise on the left, and oh wow, 7-3 against 7-8.
Oh man, that's just such bad luck. I'm just trying to tell an anecdote about what a boss Phil is. He gets stacked in the middle of it. I can't think of anything worse than that happened. Anyway, I wrote an article that said like Phil is basically the second coming and he could do anything he wanted and people will just like walk into the ocean for him. And I stand by that statement. $5,400 in the middle on table 2. Showdown on table 1. Yeah, another showdown. Yeah, another Venividi pot. Phil betting $1,350 on table 2. Phil with a small turn bet gets raised by Venividi. My sample size is small. All I remember is the last time turn bet and we were really hoping he had something huge. He did not. And now he's bet. And he has been raised. Phil calls 7 of clubs on the river. So one of the open-enders gets there.
Yeah, 9-8 and 5-6.
Oh, yes. 2 of the open-enders get there. I'm just impressed I saw the one.
Quickly checks though. But last time Phil had some hand type like, I don't know, was it 2 pair or like a pair and some really good straight draw overcards and not flush or something. But let's see what Venividi does here on the river.
Venividi bets half pot. Phil raises. He's all in. Oh, my goodness. Venividi calls. Phil with the 9-8.
Yeah, 9-8 against 6-5. Well, check 6-5. He had a set and the river straight. And Phil had the 9-8 going for the check raise. What a pot.
Ooh, that's a juicy card. Jack of clubs on the turn. This guy's saying ATM equals at the moment, man. Wouldn't that be ATMM? That's not even the right number of letters. Okay, here we go, kids. River time, table 1. Oh, yeah, look at that. I do have my tables mixed up. I mean table 2. That should go on the other side. Okay, good call. It's so rare I make a mistake. I don't even really, how am I going to? I owe myself that one. Anyway, it is a pot-sized river bet on table 2. It's paired. It's got straights. It's got flushes.
Straight flush. Royal.
It's got royal flushes. It's also got a 4. Phil needs to call all in, but doesn't. Folds. And he's going to top up back to 20,000 on that table. Wager says
Yeah,
so many
all
polarizing spots. Yeah.
All those large pots now going to Venividi last couple of minutes.
Yeah, this last part of today's session hasn't been going well for no major coolers, but just decent pot after decent pot heading over to Venividi.
And 4-bet pot by Venividi.
Okay, here we go.
Most likely gonna see an all-in here, a pot-size bet by Venividi because
that's a straight flush.
Equity.
That's got to be good.
9 of clubs? Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Also right 9 because Venividi also had it.
4-bet pot, straight flush. And a bet from Venividi on table 1 will do what? Get raised. Called. Phil's all in. He has the straight.
I
And
guess
that
that's good news.
is good enough.
With a redraw even, and a queen.
Phil has booked a win in 1 of the previous 5. He is treading water again today with his head below still right now. He's only come up for air a few times. It's felt better today than it did yesterday. Yesterday was a real shame. Phil goes runner 6s there. And we've got a 5-figure pot on table 1. Three clubs out there. 2 queens on board. Phil shows not the winner. Okay, I only had time to look at his hand. And it wasn't the winner. Check back 9's full. Yeah, that's why I was a little confused too. I was expecting a... Anyway. Other decent pot. 2 decent pots. This must have been a 4-bet, huh? How did I miss that? Was it? Showdown, table 2. That one goes to Phil. 21,000. Up for grabs. Table number 1. Ace, queen, king. Ace, king, queen. 2 diamonds. So we got low straights. We got high straights. Got some busted flush draws. 3-bet and a flop bet. Okay. Oh, man. Looks like we might hit pretty close to 700 hands. We got a big raise, table 1. Galfond again raising a river bet from Venividi. Last time this was a full pot bet though. What is even the nuts on this board? A set of queens? Phil shows a set of deuces. That's the winner. Looks like Phil is getting poked and prodded a little bit here as we cruise toward the end of this session. Venividi betting full pot on the flop on table 2. You guys don't have to leave this channel when things end as we take a look at this pot size turn bet now from Venividi. He is hammering hard at this one. Phil calls 32,000 in the middle. Phil with a very small.
That's a good card because it's completing one of the two flush draws.
Venividi puts the last of it in for Phil. Phil calls with Broadway. Unfortunately, he is up against a flush. Zepp says can't not call there, really. Odds were there, and he has Broadway and a diamond blocker. Plus, obviously, I mean, Hall is, I guess that's what you mean by odds. All his chips were already. I'm afraid to plug this again because when I started to last time, that's when that last awful hand went down. However,
we got a chance on the left.
See, as soon as I start trying to plug the fact that Andreas is streaming after this, a huge hand develops.
I just think that they're gonna start in like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna be sweating this hand and then probably gonna call it a stream here at least. Let's see how this one develops. Small bet from Phil as the 3-better.
Phil takes a pot on table 2 with a straight. And Phil's just gotten raised on the turn on table 1. That is a big bet. Phil is raised. He is all in. I'm missing a hole card here. It looked like a set of 5s against a set of kings. Not any better than that, it seems. Venividi bet in half pot in a 3-bet pot. Hanskin, I am not touching that crank. Not today. You know, if I crank it, it could go all over the place. It might get on Phil. It might get on Venividi. Phil betting full pot on this river. And Venividi folds. Thank you. It's the turn. I'm having fun. Hope you guys are too. Phil all in. Phil with a set of jacks up against a set of 9s. 6, 7, 8, 9. That is not a straight. What is Phil going to do? He's going to raise on table 1. He's going to try to juice this pot. It's a paired board. Big time raise after Venividi bet the river. Venividi re-raises. Oh my goodness. This is a sick pot developing. These guys were quite deep. Went from 1,800 to 6,100 to 17,000. Phil folds. Table 2. Significant action taking place. Phil throws up his sunglasses emote. 10,000 in the middle. That is a 4-bet. 4-bet pot. For what is likely to be the last hand of the session. This hand could potentially put Phil in the green for the day, the final hand of the day. What will happen? I am tripping over myself, giddy with excitement for the potential for this hand to end in Cheddar Bob's green bean. I'm going to smash this horn. Phil betting full pot on the turn. Gets the fold from Venividi. My goodness, this is going to be close. I think that'll do it, though. I think that's going to be in the green. Just want to make sure all the stats have caught up. Wait, what? Is it really minus 13? Did that happen? Is that true? Down 13 euros? Is that real? I haven't gotten it. Oh, we've got Phil on the line. Phil.
Stapes.
We didn't get the official number. What was the official result of the session?
I actually don't. I mean, I think it's really close to even.
I don't know if chat's trolling me or not. They're telling me it's minus 13 euros.
I think it's really close to even. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.